So she got the braless hug and a kiss on the cheek? Oh, I see now. She's still... Oh, that's what it is. Because essentially a core part of her childhood was altered. So today we're breaking down the second to last episode of Ninja and Assassin Under One Roof. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, share your support, consider subscribing to stay up to date on all of this greatness, and of course, Patreon, full live reactions and exclusives over there. Let's jump into this. So, well, they're technically not married, and I'm sure someone will get mad by the title for that. They're closer to being married than not. Let's keep it a buck. And I really appreciate how insane this sounds. The fact that all these little things that could have been situational gag humor that they completely forget about in the following episodes remains relevant. Whether that's, okay, the two lovebirds who hate each other and love each other, one turns into a baby, got raised by the other, and after being turned back into normal, the neurological side of it things, it's still there. So she's essentially conflicted as one half of her brain thinks this is mommy, the other half thinks, oh, I don't know, like maybe I like her, but I'm a bit of a tsundere. And it's so great to see the conflicting nature there, because obviously for someone like Sadako, she just thinks it's kind of adorable, but obviously for Konoha, it's a completely different story. And what's great about that is you could have easily wrote this series, and I think most authors would have went this route. It's a situational thing, next episode, everything's back to normal. Maybe they call back to it once or twice. But it's not just these, like, the mental side of things of her brain, you know, subconsciously remembering and, like, this was her childhood, even if it was only briefly, like, the way it all worked. It also affected her assassin skills. So while, you know, she naturally was able to jump the one character, she looked like a Playboy bunny pulled from, you know, Hugh Hefner's mansion. She was like, I forget how to kill. And as silly as it is, I mean, at the end of the day, she could have just like, she had her prime locked and loaded, anything would have worked, but she ended up getting herself severely wounded, and if it wasn't for our little assassin coming in, she probably would have died there. A lot of series wouldn't have wrote it like that. They would have just said, oh, now that the baby arc is over, or the toddler arc, the infant arc, whatever it was, you know, we move on from that. There definitely has been some gag humor like that, such as when she got a ridiculously large breast and then, you know, she was fine after that. But the fact that things that actually would linger naturally, the fact that they do that, it makes me respect the writing. As silly and stupid as this series can be, it legitimately is competently written. I mean, at this point, they want you to think she dead. Do I believe that? No, mainly because I know it's an ongoing manga. Unless they wanted to, you know, do an anime original ending where she was dead, that would be kind of savage, I ain't gonna lie. But in terms of both of them not having communication with the other, some giant dude with a pirate cutlass comes in and slices her, and she ain't in the ED little after the credits thing where it's like, let's discuss the next episode, and she's like, oh, I'm alone. That's not ominous at all. Best part too is the characters are self-aware enough to be like, girl, that's a death flag. How long are you gonna be gone for? Jesus Christ, that is a death flag. What is wrong with you? It's just, they had a lot of fun with it, and it's gonna be interesting to see what they pull off for the last episode. I mean, they kind of reveal a lot about the assassin organization she's for. It kind of feels like John Wick in a way, that it's like, hey, you try to leave, you're gonna be a little excommunicado, and I'm like, oh, okay. It feels like there's never gonna be a natural way out for her, and I feel like if you eventually end this story, there's only one or two ways you do it. Actually, three, I guess. One, she actually gets killed, which would be the dark ending, which I doubt. You fake your own death and live in an alternate, you know, identity sort of a thing. Or you kill maybe the leader, or you beat them up well enough that they let you go. I don't know. But either way, they did a lot of good things in this episode, and it honestly felt longer than just 20 minutes. Not in a negative way, but it felt like I watched a double episode. They really did a lot with such a short amount of runtime, and I really appreciate this series and how consistent it's been. Like, for the most part, it's felt like it's progressively gotten better, but in terms of the art consistency, the animation, and just the fact that for so long in the show, no one ever made it out alive. Like, you would have the best character designs known to man, and they'd be dead in 2 seconds. And then they had fun with the whole heaven bit, right? Because, like, okay, we're gonna bring these character designs back. But over the course of like the second half, we've gotten less good at killing characters, or characters have survived longer. And I don't think that's just because, she got rusty. In this case, it was a rustiness because of, you know, the infancy still lingering in her brain and her not remembering how to be a proper assassin. But I honestly feel like the more these two have bonded, the less murderous she's become. Now, if you try to hurt her, or, you know, who's gonna eventually be her girlfriend, yeah, like, she'll kill your ass. But it honestly feels like we've slowly been breaking Konoha out of this pure assassin mindset, and, you know, they're definitely hinting at she did not have a great childhood, which, you know, a blind man could see that, given who gets into the assassin business with a happy-go-lucky childhood. So it's really cool to see what they've been able to accomplish, and I do hope eventually we do get a season 2. It's sad that apparently there isn't a lot of manga out, so it would probably take a hot minute. But I hope, you know, this will be like one of those series where you're like 5 years from now, you look and you're like, what the hell? Are they making a season 2 of that? A lot of series do that anymore, and hopefully this could be one of them. Or maybe there is, you know, maybe it's only a couple year wait. I don't know how it will work, but I just think it deserves a second season. But who knows? Maybe we'll come up here next week and they'll just end up killing her because it's like, hey, let's just go completely different with it. But they're tying back to everything they need to. They're doing a great job. They don't let things just be one-time off events that shouldn't be. Like the fact that, as an example too, with Marine, right? She's still a kid. Like they didn't just immediately turn her back either, which makes sense because her body was pretty messed up. So if they would have reverted her back, she probably would have been injured still, I imagine. On top of the fact that these two sisters, as questionable as they were, especially with poses last week, you know, they didn't have the best childhood either, so now they're kind of fixing it. So it's kind of nice what they're doing with all that. Of course, there's still... like, at first I thought people were screwing with me, but I've seen enough unique comments throughout these weeks that deadass think Konoha and Sadako are just friends. And I truly believe that if these types of people ever have kids, they're gonna truly believe that their son or daughter who lives with the same gendered roommate for 15 years and just conveniently never find a partner are just friends. It's not a bad thing that they're not just friends. The amount of times they've literally implied otherwise, that they are building romantic interests, as you literally have their lesbian couple friends say that this show isn't afraid of Yuri. Just friends. You love to see it. Not really, but it's pretty funny. You let me know what you thought down below. Think she's making it out of the clear death flag that they totally want to make you believe she's not surviving from? I'm gonna laugh my ass off if they actually did brutally kill her, though, and we're all taking the piss on how obvious that death flag isn't a death flag. But you let me know your feelings down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, ring that bell, and yes, Patreon, full live reactions and other exclusives like, hey, I give a video shout out to all of my patrons. So today we got David Walker, Kusho, Sebastian Price, Jewel, Akato, James, Aris Coteres, and we also have Justin Hayes. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.